Yes, my friends, 14,000 fans showed up to support the Steelers at yesterday's practice, packing the small high school stadium. The black and gold fans, once again, proved why we are, without a doubt, the best fan base in the world. If you're excited for the start of the season, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like this: "Go Steelers! Let's go all out!" But while the fans brought the energy, not everyone on the field matched it, and that starts with one of the most scrutinized names this offseason, Broderick Jones. Man, I confess I'm not very excited about him. Many fans believe Christian Gonzalez would be better than Broderick, but whatever. Friday night was tough for Broderick Jones. Very tough. Although he's still recovering from a groin injury and limited himself to individual drills and some action during the team's 7-game stretch, his performance wasn't the best. Against edge rushers like Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, Jones wasn't just losing reps, he was getting absolutely dominated. Word from the ground is that he went 0-for-3 against Highsmith in one-on-ones, and none of those reps were remotely close. We're talking blowouts, and this isn't the first time we've seen this. Even before the groin issue flared up, he was taking some worryingly soft losses in practice. That's not what you want to see from a guy who's supposed to be protecting Aaron Rodgers' blind side this year, especially not when he's likely facing off against elite competition like Myles Garrett on that left edge. The narrative around Brick since he was drafted was that he'd finally shine once moved to left tackle. That just hasn't happened so far. Instead, his backups, Calvin Anderson and Dylan Cook, have looked sharper, more composed, and frankly, more NFL ready in their reps with the first-team offense. That's turning what was once considered a foregone conclusion into a full-on left tackle battle. Cook, in particular, is starting to stand out, and it's not outlandish to say he might currently be the front-runner at the position if things don't change. And this matters. Let's not forget, the Steelers traded up in the draft to snag Broderick Jones. They spent a first-rounder and gave up a fourth to move up the board. That's not the kind of capital you want to squander. If he can't turn this around, it doesn't just hurt his trajectory, it potentially derails plans for an offensive line built to keep a 41-year-old quarterback upright and healthy. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the veteran QB is settling in, at least somewhat. While Friday didn't feature many deep completions, he found a rhythm in the short to intermediate game. A few nice connections with DK Metcalf, including a big gain on a drag route and a solid slant, showed signs of timing and chemistry. But Rodgers did deliver a dime late in the 2-minute drill, a perfectly placed hole shot to DK that hit his hands and fell incomplete. No defender in sight. Fourth down. In a real game, that's got to be caught. You're being paid top 5 receiver money. You've got to come down with that. Period. The offensive line as a unit did seem to be gelling more, though. While Jones struggled, Dylan Cook looked strong on the left side, and Anderson held his own as well. On the interior, names like Mason McCormick, Zach Frazier, and Spencer Anderson are starting to quietly emerge as solid contributors. The group showed some of its best pass protection work of camp so far. There's also movement on the injury front. Joey Porter Jr. missed practice with a minor issue, but Tomlin doesn't sound concerned. JPJ was still moving around on the sidelines, and it sounds like he'll be back soon. His absence did shift reps around in the secondary, with Jalen Ramsey playing outside and B. Bishop Jr. stepping in at slot corner. Interestingly, Beanie isn't the only young DB making a case for himself. With veteran Darius Slay getting a vet day previously, Brandon Eccles had taken first-team reps, but on Friday, Beanie got the nod. But while some guys are stepping up, others are faltering. Corey Trice Jr., once again, left the field injured, this time with a hamstring issue. It's tough to see because when healthy, he's flashed the tools you want in a developmental corner. But availability is everything in this league. And if Trice can't shake this injury bug, he might go from a potential breakout to a surprise cut candidate, especially with guys like James Pierre, Beanie Bishop Jr., and Dante Kent competing hard and staying healthy. Calvin Anderson, also in the running at left tackle, slipped during team drills and is now being evaluated for a lower body injury. That opens the door even wider for Dylan Cook to solidify his place as the top option behind, or maybe even ahead of, Broderick Jones. There were some bright spots, too. Darnell Washington stole the show in backs-on-backers, dominating reps against some of the team's best edge defenders. TJ Watt was the only one to beat him, and even then, it took a monster bull rush. That's a huge win for Washington, who also added a contested catch in team drills to cap off a very strong performance. The man looks like he's taken a leap. Caleb Johnson, the rookie running back, continues to be a roller coaster. Stuffed at the goal line early in 7 shots, he bounced back with a highlight stiff-arm touchdown later. He had a similar arc in backs-on-backers, whiffing early before bouncing back with competitive reps that got the whole crowd fired up. You love to see that fight from a young guy. He's showing real grit. And let's not overlook Will Howard. The rookie QB is starting to come alive. He was conservative to start camp, but now he's opening up the playbook and letting it rip. A beautiful seam pass to tight end J.J. Galbraith stood out, and Howard continues to make smart, calculated throws with solid mechanics and touch. You can tell he's laying down a strong foundation, one that could pay off in the preseason. Another surprise standout, Rock Taylor. The undrafted free agent wideout out of Memphis is making noise. He cooked James Pierre for a touchdown in one-on-ones and made another big play during team drills. This guy tracks the ball well, wins contested catches, and is starting to climb the depth chart. He's one to watch as the preseason begins. But now I want to hear from you. How concerned are you about Broderick Jones' struggles? Is Dylan Cook truly the better option right now? And what do you make of Corey Trice Jr.'s injuries? Should the Steelers move on if he can't stay healthy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And now, with all that said, let's dig deeper into the situation that might quietly be shaping the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers 2025 season. We've talked about the visible cracks, but what's happening beneath the surface is even more telling. Let's start again with Broderick Jones. Yes, the struggles are obvious, but the problem might be deeper than just poor reps in one-on-ones. This coaching staff was banking on Jones making a second-year leap, especially now that he's been slotted back to his natural left tackle spot. The fan base was sold on the idea that last year's switch to right tackle was a short-term move and that a return to the blind side would unlock his first-round potential. But what if the truth is, he's just not ready? Not mentally, not physically, not for what's expected of him. And this is more than just fan concern. Internally, there's a growing sense that this may no longer be a competition. Dylan Cook is winning it outright. He's not just filling in, he's earning it. What started as a placeholder rep rotation has turned into a true merit-based pecking order. And it's not like Cook was some high-profile acquisition. He was overlooked by most during the offseason, but when the pads came on, he responded. No complaints, no drama, just strong, consistent football. The ripple effect of that, though, is massive. If Jones doesn't step up soon, the Steelers will have a first-round pick riding the bench behind an undrafted guy who worked his way up from the bottom. That's not just a tough look, that's a front office dilemma. They traded up for Jones. They passed on other positions of need to get him. If he's a bust, it doesn't just hurt this team short-term, it reflects poorly on the evaluation process that's been praised in recent years. And you want to talk about a wild twist? The guy who might be helping his case the most, Darnell Washington. Not just because of what he's doing as a tight end, but because of what he's doing in protection. So now, Steelers Nation, the question is yours. Who do you believe should be starting at left tackle come week 1? Has Dylan Cook earned it? Is it too soon to give up on Broderick Jones? And do you see Corey Trice Jr. sticking on this roster if his health doesn't improve quickly? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everything. And if you're loving these in-depth training camp updates, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in right here. More breaking news is on the way. You won't want to miss it.